Guys, imagine this. So Stuart in the group chat text, right? Is anyone open to doing a High Rocks Pro doubles in London? This is probably on the weekend of the 4th, 5th, 7th. And I just simply message in. And guess what he says? It is a pro on the Monday. I am a pro on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 25A. 366 days. I'm here to get it done. I don't have a shift on the Monday. Let's get it done. Why are you scared? Sometimes you just gotta have this braggadocious confidence. What's the worst that could happen? Life humbles you, but I'd rather have the braggadocious confidence. You feel me? So, yeah, we are here getting things done. Ask me what I'm doing. Yeah, we're working on a nice little quotation. It is literally a quotation for drone, plus a documentary, plus a case study build up. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That just hit my head like a light bulb. That in addition to this, we can simply add on a case study. We'll do up the case study, in collaboration with their team, be it the admin and be it with the engineers, ask them a couple questions and pretty much have this case study. So that's what we're sort of working on at the moment. And that case study is then used in, I think it should be a framework that should be used in the operational and maintenance, life cycle of, the solar panels. Because once you have those case studies of each and every single project, that allows you, to change, to tweak things because you have data. So I think we sell it from that perspective as well. But I'm just excited to do such things, because they allow us to be embedded in, solar PV, and just ourselves being a beneficiary of that field under pristine living solar operational and maintenance services. As an asset manager of renewable energy infrastructure, it allows us to gain data, it allows us to gain authority, it allows us to be confident in our services because we understand the terrain. We were there, on the day of, on the days of, production of the project, development of the project, to the days of handing over the project and just curating that experience from development to just the final version of it. It's polished and everything is stringed, everything is cabled, everything is in sync. The app, everything is all, structured well. So from that particular version to 6-12 months, ahead, where we then come in with our operational and maintenance services, those inspections, with the thermal imaging gun, whether with, drones, and those particular thermal inspections of the solar panels, be it on a roof, roof mounted solar panels to ground mounted solar panels on, vast acres of land, of, solar farm infrastructure. So yeah, it's just a great thing to embed ourselves in the aspect of just development, from the seed idea to the solar panels on a roof, on the ground, and they are now fulfilling their utility. They are fulfilling the utility, and we're pretty much involved in the facilitation of them fulfilling their full, operational efficiency and just results. So yeah, it's such a results based, sort of framework, where we just bring ourselves and embed ourselves and just learning, you know, pieces of data and compiling pieces of data of a system and being able to assist by providing value in each of those components. So that's what I see as, pristine living, operational and maintenance, as an asset manager, but just pretty much as an aggregator of everything that's going on. Because we're such, when we then have that data at hand, the content and just pretty much talking about the numbers, the return on investment, and just holding that against, not fulfilling the needs of protecting your asset, of maintaining your asset, that pretty much just ties on into the insurance policies involved with particular assets, that you cannot simply have a large scale solar PV system or, that particular vast infrastructure if you don't have, an operational and maintenance package that's tied into it, to ensure the safety. Otherwise, we're going to have these unintended, consequences of, fires and systems failing, and they could be outside of their warranty, so that allows, some serious, security and protection on and accountability from all ends, from the insurance company to the company that you're having, that provided the, the facilities for financing, right? And in, understanding that in order for us to, pay back to this particular company as said asset owner, we are fulfilling the needs of these solar panels. We are cleaning them, we are maintaining them, we're inspecting them. So that way, we are completely off grid, maybe in that particular, scenario. And, whether be it off grid or not, hybrid, either way, we are paying much less than we used to pay for in terms of, electrical, overheads, right? So now we're profitable in that particular sense, which allows us to make, substantially a bit more, depending on whatever it is, a bit more or more, whatever it is, but you are essentially making more, compared to when you had to be dependent on the grid. So if that particular, scenario is sort of going on in the background, that means, well, we should be able to afford, paying back the people who funded the project in the first place. So the accountability on knowing that the system is being serviced, it's being inspected, it's being maintained, it's being cleaned. There's accountability on that front. There's also accountability with the insurance entity because, well, we're not going to let fires happen. We're not going to have unintended consequences. And therefore, any issues and, the policy and so on in, particular said thing happening. So accountability, accountability with the solar installation company, ensuring that they are there, they are frontline, and having ourselves, not just come around as a contractor, but pretty much help build out operational and maintenance teams for companies, sort of like a plug and play, an in a box solution. That's just where we're sort of trying to come around. It's not just about doing the deals and then take the money and then run off, do the deal, take the money and run off. I think the aspect of commissions from a sales perspective is very, very interesting. Great, especially in the solar industry. If you're working with large scale industrial, large scale commercial, large scale agricultural, large scale solar farms, yeah, your commissions are, substantial. But besides just the cash flow, we want to build value. We want to build a cultural value. We want to build a culture of interconnecting services, and relationships. And we would rather own the market share as opposed to keep our minds fixated on, commissions and cash flow and so on. The cash flow will help the business absolutely, stand, and having, operational budgets, that sort of thing. But, we have to create a culture of value within our company. And again, it also interconnects with We're Living Finance, as we are brokering those, financing particular deals as well as the insurance. We are within the ecosystem. Again, we're able to then utilize We're Living Finance from that perspective of brokering financing options and insurance policy options, because we are involved within the deal from the start. So certain things like, the solar PV design and proposal, where we add on the address or the particular location in the software, and we're able to have it up here, Google 3D view, and be able to see if this particular project is feasible before even having it installed and so on. So involvement from that aspect, and partnering up with the right people, the right installation companies, just the right partners, and being involved from just the front line to the final product, and facilitating transactional, deals within that. But it's another day building, and it's just another day just creating value and just being involved. And 10 years, 15, 20 years of just obsession and wanting to bring about value, in a B2B sense at this moment. But I'm going to stop waffling on, and yes, tune in, like and subscribe, from a YouTube perspective, and on any other social media, just follow on. And my name is Tyrell Jingini. I am the proprietor of Pristine Living Limited and We're Living Limited. These two companies, We're Living Limited provides services and also sell products online. So anything to do online in terms of pharmacy, service wise, product wise, that's where we are mainly. And our involvement with finance, We're Living Finance, which will then tie into crediting or financing options and insurance. Then Pristine Living Limited, that is simply solar aspects of things and property and that sort of thing, and the infrastructure. So super excited to just keep on going and to just keep pushing.